dun dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Hi, welcome to another Getting Project Done with me, Chris. Rolling over all my stuff here. Just too excited. So, we're continuing our work on the McFarlane Intercessor Hellblaster artist proof action figure. And we're doing a custom chapter of Space Marine. I normally don't do a lot of custom chapter type stuff. Usually don't. But this one idea I've had bubbling in the back of my brain, and so I figured, you know what? Why not do it on one of these large scale, large format figures? And so that's where I'm at. And yeah. So, here, let's switch over cameras here. So, we've got the legs mostly where we want it. And, we're mostly happy with this. I was talking in previous episodes of using this mold. And as you can see, I've already gotten some gook in it. Now, this mold is a little silicone mold. It's very, very soft, very flexible, and, this is initially designed for basically cake making and things like that. But it's silicone. And I kind of figured resin would work in this just fine. And spoiler, I'm mostly right about that. And with this, I was basically just doing a test. And I had done a first test. And it worked out pretty well. I wasn't too concerned about the resin. Like anybody who's used, resin before knows that this stuff heats up as it cures. And this is the fast curing resin that I was using. And yeah, it was, pretty straightforward. It started to kind of cure as I was pouring it in, and I was kind of like smooshing it around and stuff. The resin I used was actually fairly old, and so I wasn't even sure if it was gonna, work right. And so I did another test just to make sure, and this test was just as funky too. I don't know, some sort of dust dries on top of it. Anyway, it started really curing as I was pouring it. It almost looks like dog doo-doo. But anyway, I wanted to do another one because this feather here just wasn't as strong. But otherwise, these feathers turned out really well. Basically, what I did was I just poured it in, and then just kind of gently with a popsicle stick, which is just kind of like a wood, tongue depressor kind of thing, and just kind of smooshed it in there. And yeah, it gave me a good press. It leads me to believe that these molds were not initially for cakes. I think these were for jewelry. It's got a little food and beverage thingy symbol on it, but I don't think that's what this was for. I think this was for jewelry. I think this was somebody's mold for making pewter feathers, because all these designs all have these little loops sculpted into them for, doing a little string or like earrings or something like that. But either way, I've got feathers. You may recall in previous episodes where I was attempting and failing to sculpt some feathers, and so now I've got a few, and yeah. So basically, see this big chunk here, I'm not too worried about because it's just this big gibbly gook. Really, on this one, I'm just more concerned with these two feathers, this feather, maybe this feather. So you know what? Let's cut them free and let's have a look. Let's see how well they clean up. They should clean up just fine, but let's have a look anyway. Give you guys some sort of idea as to where I'm going with this project. Let's see here. Can we cut into this okay? Ooh, geez, that's brittle. That's brittle. Oof. Well, thankfully I didn't need that end of that feather there. I have to figure out a way to sand these as well. Oof. Maybe I should scribe a line in. You know, kind of like glass. Let's try that. Let's try that. I'm not gonna use my blade. I'm gonna use let's use this little tool right here. It's got a nice little point to it. Kim, hello, holy cramoles, Kim. Good God, man, are you? It's gotta be like midnight in your area, no? Past midnight? It's gotta be late. All right, I'm gonna scribe in a little line. I'll scribe in a line this way as well. And then I will scribe in a line this way. Yeah, let's go right in between these two. Let's see if we can have our cake and eat it too, so to speak. Scribe in a line this way and this way. Hopefully this works. If this works, I am so smart. 2:19 in the morning. Jeepers creepers, man. Go to bed. Go to bed. Don't watch me. Go to bed. Good God. All right. So I scribed in just like little lines. So hopefully when I put the clippers to it, it'll break along the line, just like glass cutting. That's the theory I'm running with here. It's like glass cutting, right? Not quite. Oh. Yeah, I think we nicked off some of the feather here. Oh, that's not too bad. Yeah, we got a little bit of the feather nicked off there. It's a little too thick. We're going to have to do some serious sanding. Let's see here. Can we get this? Oh, I'm nervous here for this one. I'm nervous. Yeah, it's breaking right along that. Arg. Oh, hey, look at that. It almost broke along that line. Almost. Almost. It almost looks like I know what I'm doing. Almost. Look at that. And it broke right off, broke right through that line there. Like that. I am so smart. I am so smart. SMRT. I mean SMART. Kim, yeah, it's nighttime here. Usually when I do most painting. Oh, really? Okay, so you're up right now, working on your own stuff. The kids have gone to bed, and this is Kim's work time, right? Is that what's going on? Greenleaf terrain. Oh. All right, we're gonna scribe this one again, or not this one again, but we're gonna scribe it. So we're just gonna run this right through here. We'll run it this way too. I know I'm pushing my luck a little bit, but I don't know. Let's just see. Let's see. Don't you have a rotation tool to do the sanding of those? Yeah, I do have a rotary tool. Yeah, I can probably just sand them. The feathers, though, are a good size. I don't know if you guys can see that, but here, let's go with the helmet, right? You can kind of see. Feathers are good size. I like the feathers. I like them. It was a good call, Kim. Good call. Go for the mold. Greenleaf. Love those naked hands. Thanks. Naked hands as opposed to clothed hands? I am confused. I am confused. Oh, look at that. Oh. No. Oh, wait. No. There it is. Damn. Excuse me, everybody who's got headphones in. That snuck right up on me. Anyway. Let's break this one, right? was an unclean break. Can we just break it? Nope. Okay, let's try it this way. Break it this way. There we go. Nope, still is one break. Come on. Break, damn you. Oh, there we go. We got her. We got her. We got her. I don't really need all these feathers, but you never know. You just never know. Kim, it's the weekend now, so they decide themselves when to go to bed. They're big kids, 17 and almost 15. Oh, yeah. Practically adults. Practically. Although I'm sure you probably question some of their decisions, but they're mostly adults. If it's anything like my house, you're kind of just shaking your head all the time, like, what are you guys doing? What are you talking about? I'm just scribing in some more lines here. Now this one here, thankfully, is a little bit thin. As you may or may not be able to tell, there's some thin areas on the resin, so it didn't cure quite as thick. So all I'm doing is I'm just scribing in just little break lines, right? Just like when we're cutting glass. Greenleaf, fuck, I shit my pants. Thanks again. Yeah, sorry, I had to sneeze, man. I'm sorry. My sneezes are not for the faint of heart. Oh, it did it too. Beauty. Oh, yeah, that was beauty right there. Beauty, eh? Beauty. All right. How are we gonna get into this? Yeah, I think these molds are for like necklaces, because like every piece has loops. I think somebody was copying somebody else's work on this mold. I think it's recasters. Fucking greedy recasters, man. Damn it, how am I going to get those ones? It's pretty thin. It's pretty thin. You know what? We're just going to have to snap this piece off. And this piece off. Yeah, see, normally the resin is usually, I think that's what the problem is the two parts of resin, because they're old. Well, one of them is really old, and yeah, I don't think they're thoroughly mixing. I think that's what oh shit, almost fucked that up. I don't think they're thoroughly mixing when I'm doing it, which means that I have to get myself some new resin. There we go. There we go. And we can pretty much chuck this piece away. There's nothing on here. I mean, there's like nice little things in here. If I really want these little wing details, I'll just press it out of the mold again, you know? Just bah, bah, bah. But yeah, we're gonna toss these feathers because I don't need them. And yeah, I mean, like, it was little amounts of resin that I'm wasting here, so I'm not really that super concerned about it. Greenlee, no, Nate's Miniatures. Oh no, who let this cat out? Nobody. I didn't do a stream this afternoon. Normally I do a stream in the afternoon. I didn't do one this afternoon, and I kind of wanted to get one done for today, so here we are. Oh, I'm looking at the camera. I forgot my camera's not even on. There we go. Now you guys can kind of see what I'm doing here. Yeah, so yeah, I just wanted to make sure I try to stick to, you know, if I'm saying it is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, then I try and make sure I stream on those days. Otherwise, it's like a Tuesday, Thursday, you know, whatever, right? I just try to be consistent. That's all. All right. Now, the question is, should I snip these or should I use the grinder? If I use my rotary tool, I'm going to have dust everywhere. And that's kind of what I'm hoping to avoid. So I'm going to use my snippers. I think what I'll do is I'll cut a majority of the feathers away. It seems to be okay so far. I just don't want to break like one of the feathers in half kind of thing. Oh, jeez. Your piece is flying now. Shrapnel. We got shrapnel going on. Greenleaf. You didn't run something over your mold after pour? Sad you have so much excess. Yeah, well, I mean, like, there really wasn't that much needed to make these feathers. So, you know, I only used like that much of A and that much of B, and it was still way too much. I didn't bother trying to use like green stuff or milliput or anything like that, just because, I don't know, applying pressure on a soft, because the molds themselves are really, really soft. Like silicone's soft anyway, but like this is really soft. And like, you know, pushing green stuff into a mold, you're just going to distort the image, right? So that's the reason why I didn't bother with that. I'd rather resin, because that way it just, you know, free falls into all the details and, you know, does its thing. No, my biggest concern right now is just not destroying any of these feathers. That's the only concern right now. Now, they're a little thick right at the moment, and I am going to sand these down. Yeah, you see how thick that one is? But the reason why I wanted to do them in resin is for this, well, for a slight flex, and also, you know, the strength, right? Nate's Miniatures, very cool, LOL. Yeah, the resin looks brittle. Yeah, it is. Don't like plaster? I don't know if plaster would have worked well in this instance. I mean, it would have given me a good one-to-one translation of the mold, but plaster is really, really brittle, right? And this is going to go on an action figure, right? Because this is going to go on my Space Marine. Or the whole Space Marine once he's done, not just his legs. But, yeah. It's good, and plaster, in my experience, is very brittle, versus resin, which, you know, it does have some flex to it, right? Which is fine, and it holds paint fine, and, you know, it's a plastic. I mean, resin. We use this word resin, but resin really is just a plastic. That's all it is. And there's many different kinds. Nate. Plaster's very cool for washes since it soaks into really well. Yeah, the flex. Yeah, flex. My bad. I understood. I thought it was for a base. No, these are going to go on the miniature. My action figure, this custom Space Marine chapter I'm working on. I don't know if you've been following along, Nate, but it's got a very Native American vibe to it. So I sculpted this chapter symbol on, and this is Anishinaabe Thunderbird, which is Ojibwe Thunderbird, which is who I am. Like, I'm Ojibwe, in case you didn't know. And here's the squad marking, which is a bear paw. And so, yeah, and I was thinking with the bear paw in the field behind it, I'm thinking of doing something similar to like Space Wolves. You know how like Space Wolves, their squad markings, it could be a yellow black or gray white or black and red, you know. I'm thinking something along those lines, although I'm not 100% sure yet. But yeah. And then of course these feathers, I only initially wanted 2 because they're going to go on, let me get thing. They're going to go on the helmet. And so I'm going to have basically 2 feathers coming off the front of his helmet like that. And yeah. And that's what the circular device was for. And although now in hindsight, I think it might be a little too big. So it's going to sit roughly about there. Something like that. You know what? Fuck it. Let's grab some blue tack. Where's my blue tack? Sticky tack. Let's just do a quick little proof of concept. Nate. Oh, cool idea with the Native American. Yeah. I thought you were a second in command to Genghis Khan. Yeah, no, I'm not Mongolian. I'm Ojibwe. Now, Americans, I don't know if you're American or Canadian or where you're from, but in America, we are known as Chippewa. So, in case you were wondering. And so essentially there'll be 2 feathers, one off that side and one off this side. Yeah, you know what? I think this is too big now. It's a little too big, too thick. So I might have to make another one smaller and thinner. But yeah. Maybe 2 off to one side. Maybe 2. Kind of one like that and one like that. Actually, that might not be too bad. But yeah, I think I think this roundness, I like the size, but it's a little too thick. Maybe I'll shave it down. I probably will have to anyway because it's got to conform to the forehead. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, so there's going to be 2 feathers on his helmet. And then I'm thinking of doing 1 or 2 feathers dangling from his gun. So, like, for example, like this feather right here, you know, either dangling off the gun there, or there's like a little loop under the gun, and I was thinking maybe 2 feathers hanging off, you know, the end of the loop like that. But yeah, that's the plan. All right, let's put that away. Put that feather over here. Kim, those molds are made to pour liquid sugar into, so resin is the best option. What kind of resin is probably debatable? Yeah, I mean, the resin I'm using is just a straight polyurethane resin. It's a 2-part, equal part AB. So it's not, because there are different resins where they have the catalyst is like you just add a couple drops per like so many ounces, and yeah, damn shrapnel. Yeah, we'll sand these down after. I'll probably do it off camera just because it's so dusty. I have to get my vacuum in here and everything. Nate, I'm Australian. Oh, you're Australian. Okay. So, yeah. I don't know how familiar you are with Native American cultures and such in North America, but yeah. There we go. Basically, I'm just going to kind of, you know, block these out a bit. Kind of just get an idea for the shapes. I like these ones, though. They're big, but I like them. Yeah, so I'm thinking like 2 feathers like this, you know? Yeah. Kim, that's funny since Australia is about the other side of the world for me. I'm in Norway. About as far away as you can come. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure. Okay, this one was really thin, so all I gotta do is just break off the pieces. Nice. I like when my actual ineptitude works in my favor. I like that. I like when my ineptitude works for me. Yeah, see, this one's a little too thick. Oof. It's about as thick as a penny. Alright. Oi! Jeez. It's like clipping toenails in here. I know somebody out there went, gross, Chris. And I'm like, what's the matter? You don't clip your toenails? That's gross. Yeah. Yeah, that should be pretty straightforward. Yeah. It's like two little feathers like that. Ba-doom, ba-doom. Yeah. I like it. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with this so far. Nate. Native Americans have some rich history. I know family is a big thing. Well, I think that pretty much goes for anybody around this planet. Family, being of importance. I mean, yeah. I think that can be said about any culture on this planet. Family's important. I'm trying to think. Is there a culture out there that places like no emphasis on family? I can't think of one, but I'm not much of a anthropologist. Anthropologist? Yeah, anthropologist. Study of culture. Yeah. But I must admit, a lot of my knowledge is from movies. Yeah, well, I mean, there's not much movies as far as Native American and whatever movies are actually out there. Usually, kind of stereotypical. The way they portray natives. Nate, so do you think you might make a whole army with this chapter? Well, I have considered. I am sitting on a whole bunch of Primaris Marines that, yeah, they could easily go into this. I mean, like, this is actually the first time I've toyed with this idea of making a chapter using, this symbol. The symbol, by the way, is the Anishinaabeg Thunderbird. And yeah, and so I've toyed with the idea of using this symbol for Space Marines for a long time, but I just never really knew what. And so really, doing this action figure is kind of like a bit of a rough sketch of an idea. And when you have ideas, oh man, that big chunk just went full lion. You're best jotting them down and giving your idea form so that you can naturally kind of mold it and further refine it, right? If it stays just up in your head and you're constantly just, noodling around with it and thinking of ways to go change this or that, involve this and, inspired by whatever, and nothing ever becomes concrete. And it's not until you start laying it out all on the table for real before the idea actually starts to solidify and become something, right? So, yeah. And this is finally my moving forward with this idea. And, because, yeah, I mean, like, maybe I'll make a little combat patrol or something like that with these Marines. It is an entire possibility. I've talked about it many, many, many times. Man, these things are ricocheting like bullets around here. Jeez Louise. I'm definitely have to go through. Wait, jeez. Who dat? Oh, it's Haas again. Haas. Yeah, spamming. Looking to spam. I think he wants to drop some hateful messages. Here we go. I've seen this Haas name pop up before. I think Haas is a bot. It's a Haas bot. Haas, are you a bot? And if you are a bot, do bots dream? Do bots dream? That is the deep question, isn't it? Nate, holy crap, that woke me up. Oh, Twitchy, there you are. Haas is a bot for the hate posters. Do bots feel? Yeah, do bots feel? Do bots dream? Do bots long for peace and equality for all? Is that what bots do? Are bots Necrons? Yeah, I would say so. Definitely part of Skynet anyway. Yeah, I kind of figured Haas was a bot. I've seen that name pop up a few times in the last couple weeks, and apparently on the Twitch side of things, there's a lot of hate flying around right now. About what? I'm not sure. But yeah. There we go. Yeah, see these big broad ones? I don't know if I'll use these. I just clipped them free just because, you know, you never know. But I don't know. Because they're just kind of big and thick. I don't know if I'll use them for anything. I just don't know. Nate. Oh, Twitch has not dealt with that yet. All the hate and stuff? Yeah, it apparently was a thing all week and last week and... yeah. The hate. The racists. They're out in force these days. You know, they see a guy just streaming who happens to be a little bit brown. And they go, you know what? Oh, I don't like him because he's brown. What a fucking stupid thing to hate a person for. Of all things to hate a person for, skin color is probably one of the weakest reasons. It's one of the weakest. But also the other part about racism is it's based in fear, right? It's based in fear. And you hear it in the language racists use. And honestly, I feel bad for them, because how could one exist with so much fear in their heart, you know? Like how could you even get the strength to get out of bed with so much fear and being afraid of so many different things, you know? Like how could you possibly exist? I don't understand. But what are you gonna do? Nate, bunch of angry peeps. yeah, basically. Kim, can't they block those bots and users that spread hate? Sure, I imagine they could, but they won't. Again, because it's this culture we're in right now of sensationalism and clicks and engagement and rage, and you know, it drives clicks, right? Engagement and enragement drive clicks. Who wants to get rid of that? Because they're making so much money off of all of this engagement. So who wants to get rid of that? Not them. They don't want to stop it. It's making them money. And Twitch is a business, just like all other businesses. All right. These are some thick pieces I'm cutting. having to use some muscles. Some of my muscles. 1 or 2 of my muscles I gotta use. Alright, there we go. We cleaned off the feathers and made a whole ungodly mess on my desk. Let's see if we can clean some of this bullshit up. But, yeah. The racists are hilarious. I find them hilarious. And honestly, I can't even imagine what goes on through somebody's racist little lizard brain when they're so afraid of so many different things, and, you know, religious groups, skin color, sexual orientation. You know what I mean? Like, just all these different things. Like, I don't understand. Like, how do they muster the courage up? Enough courage to just get out of bed and even try and start their tiny racist little brains. Like, how do they do it? I don't even know. Sorry, I'm just picking some of this crap up. Oh my god, I gotta run the vacuum in here. Oh my lord. Oh my god. Oh, I got pieces everywhere. Oh my god. Oh my. Oh my. Oh my. Alright. Where the hell am I? Nate's Ventures. They see color, not realizing there is probably not one person that has, as they say, pure blood in them. No, the idea of pure blood is ridiculous as well. Yeah, it's no. Kim, to say we are races is stupid. It's not enough genetic differences to classify us as different races. Well, true, right. Exactly. It's, you know, again, it's a fear. Like, racism, it stems from fear. Twitchy. Twitch are suing 2 people that apparently are behind it. Oh, really? Well, good. That's good. That's good to hear. I had no idea. Or at least partly behind it. Yeah. No. I mean, yeah. I mean, if they're tracking it down and, you know, they're holding those accountable, yeah, okay, good. Because, I mean, like, you know, there's no reason for it, right? Like, what is it accomplishing? Like, all that. Imagine the energy it took to write the code for an algorithm to go sign up for sites to spread, you know, hateful messages. I mean, like, imagine that kind of, like, energy. Imagine if that person put that to something more constructive in their lives, making their own lives better. Not just in a monetary sense, but in a sense that they were making life better for their family, for their friends, for their children, for their grandchildren, right? Imagine if they thought in those kind of terms. What kind of world am I leaving behind for my kids? You know, I don't know if these kind of thoughts occur to them. Nates, we all hate humans. What we should turn our hate to is standing in line for hours when dealing with government agencies. Well, hate's a pretty strong word. There definitely needs to be a lot of reforms in a lot of institutions. And there's a lot of institutions in this world that are antiquated and probably don't need to be around anymore. You're right? So, yeah. But because, again, there's so much money involved in those institutions, you know, will it happen? Doubtful. Nate's, yeah, those hateful people just confuse me. Too much energy. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. But, you know, it's not new. It's not like these racists are just springing out of holes in the ground. You know what I mean? Like, racism is taught. So like people who are racist had to learn it from somewhere. And anything learnt can be unlearned. Kim, it's all just people no matter how we look. I am completely Nordic with blonde hair, with blonde eyes and blue hair. And I'm tall with sharp facial traits. Should I not marry my wife of 14 years just because she is a mix of everything and looks completely different skin-wise? Yeah. No, like, you know how you know that the idea of purity of, like, blood and everything like that, even within families and such. Okay? You know how we know that that's not a good idea? It's really simple, right? What happens when cousins marry and have kids? Or brother and sister marry and have kids? And then that happens again. Okay, that's effectively pure blood, right? If you're concerned about a family bloodline, right, which is like what you see in royals, right? Because they're the ones who are always concerned about the bloodlines of somebody. And yeah, what happens? What happens to the genes of people who, intermarry, have kids and kids and kids, right? What happens to that gene pool? Becomes pretty shallow, and you end up with the flipper babies and all sorts of weird anomalies in the people, and you just end up with mutants. And when you have people of mixed descent, people who are, white and black, Asian and white, whatever it is, right? Oftentimes, those people inherently are attractive. Now, why is that? Why is that? Whenever you see people of mixed descent, pick any two different people on this planet, pick any two, imagine their mixture, and they tend to be very good looking. Why is that? Because the DNA likes to spread out and change things up. And so, that should be your first indicator. Right? As opposed to the family lines that stick within each other. Do they get more and more attractive? No, they don't. They look more and more like chuds. So, I think that pretty much kind of gives you an idea. Kim, those fuckers are everywhere, bloody racist. Yeah, they're everywhere. It's everywhere. Any kind. Just hate. People with just hate in their hearts, it's just, I don't know. Nate's Ministers. I know here in World War II there was a propaganda saying Japanese will eat your babies. It was a way to get the Australians angry enough to sign up and fight. Yeah. Well, and that's the other thing, right? Is it is propaganda, and it's important to recognize that it's propaganda. And yeah, those things were designed to other the other side, right? To demonize and dehumanize the other side, right? And that's the whole point of it. It's the whole point of propaganda. Kim, even got a few in the family. What, racist? Yeah, sure. I mean, everybody does. I do. I'm sure you do. I'm sure everybody does. Kim, I can't even have a discussion with those people. I just get so mad. Yeah, well, I mean, like, yeah, it is a challenge, when you're dealing with family members who have a very narrow worldview, and that's unfortunate. But in my experience, being mad at them or shunning them or getting into arguments with them or anything like that, oftentimes it's a waste because you're not going to convince them. You're not. Despite how well thought out your argument is, it's not going to convince them. Unfortunately, a lot of times they have to come to that realization themselves. They have to come to that realization themselves. And you know, there's not much else you can do, right? So, you know, so really, realistically, you know, like when you encounter those things with family members, yeah, I wouldn't really even bother engaging. I would just be like, yeah, okay, sure, yeah, you think so? All right. Good luck with all that. Nate's. I like critical thinking, but it is draining talking to people that won't take anything else on board to think about. No, again, it's you know, there's no point. There's no point. It's don't bother. It's same thing with this whole mask anti-mask thing and vax anti-vax, and you don't want to get it, don't get it. You don't want to wear it, don't wear it. Okay, but when you're dropping dead, you know, don't say nobody tried to help you. Don't say that, you know, that the warning signs weren't there. If you're too stupid to see, you know, the danger right in front of you, there's not much else I can do for you. And for racists, you know, if you're too narrow-sighted and too hate-filled in your heart to see the beauty in other people right next to you, then, you know, you're wasting your life. You're just wasting your life. Just being mad at people because of this color of their skin, or, you know, what gender, or what sex, or, you know what I mean? Like, these are all very trivial, stupid things to be mad about over other people. You know, because ultimately, how does it affect you? It doesn't. And the neighbors next door, different color than you. Who cares? You know what I mean? Like, who cares? It doesn't affect you in any way. It's no reason not to be polite to them. It's no reason not to, you know, look out for them. If they're having issues, lend them a hand. That's no reason. I mean, like, you know, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Kim, my grandfather spent most of the war in Bergen-Belsen, just outside Hamburg in Germany. He was arrested for being in the resistance and got shipped to Germany to the concentration camp, so I am lucky to be here today. Yeah, damn. Nate's, exactly, dropping truths. Yeah, well, it's not hard to drop truth, right? Unfortunately, truth doesn't travel as fast as a lie, right? As the expression goes. All right. So, let's get back. Okay, we cleaned up the feathers. I'm happy with the feathers I've got. Yeah, I'm going to clean them up a little bit more, shave them down, thin them down just a little bit, because some of them are just a little bit wonky and thick. Just a little bit. So, yeah, we're gonna fix those up. I'll probably do that off camera. I don't think I'll do it on camera because I gotta set my rotary tool's over there and it's not set up for right now. So, you know. And I did manage to get myself 2 more jars of flat red XF7. So I've got 2 fresh jars on the go. So we're ready to go. I don't really need it, but I've got it. Really fast though. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fix this leg. Oh man, that when I was fitting the leg back in, that just carved up all that paint, all that pressure. Just using a toothbrush here just to kind of move any debris or anything like that. See, this leg was fine. It was this leg I was having a lot of trouble with initially, but yeah. Also too, I mean, these figures are so goddamn heavy. Like these things, I could whip this out of a car and it would probably go through a windshield. I'm not going to whip it out of a car. I'm just saying if I did. I'm not. But if I did. But I'm not. But if I did. Alrighty. Nate's mentioned, haha, some of them have girth. Yeah. Girthy feathers. Yeah, these are some girthy feathers, for sure. Alright, I'm gonna just give my black a quick mix. Quick mix. Flat black XF1. Nates. I tried oil painting on a mini because of James Waple. It is fun to get easy blends, but I need to work on my thickness. Oh, definitely, yeah. Well, I mean, like, if it was your first time, and if you were pretty happy with the results, then that's a win. That's a win. If you tried out something different, and you were pretty happy with your results, you know where you kind of, could improve, that is all around a win. I would put that in the win category. Because, the worst situation you could be in is I'm going to try these paints. I open it up, spills all over the place, brush gets all gummed up and everything like that, and then you hate the entire experience and go, damn, that sucked. These paints, they suck. Well, it wasn't the paints. Right? It wasn't the paint that sucked. It was your improper, procedures. And, working with oil paint is the same kind of thing. It's, first time using it, yeah, you're going to make errors. But, be happy with your errors. Love your errors, right? Don't get down on yourself when, things don't go exactly to plan. All right. So we're just going to do a little bit of correcting here. I'm just going to just get a little bit of paint on this inseam here. So I take a pretty generous amount and bring that over there. Now, for whatever reason, this seemed to go right down to like the plastic and where it was rubbing and such. I'm sure that's just really more from the friction when I was trying to put these in. Or put them back in, I should say. Yeah. This side's going to be a little bit trickier. I think next time I'm farting around with these paints and such, I think I'm gonna use an enamel, especially on like these little sections of joints and stuff. I think I'm gonna use enamel. I think I want something even more durable than these Tamiya acrylics. I think I'm gonna use. Oh shit! I didn't grab any alcohol. Whoops. Oops. Grab some alcohol. I'm just using ISO 70% alcohol. I use this to rinse the brushes. Oop, that's a little too much. Oh well. And these are synthetic brushes I use as well. I don't use my good sable brushes when working with Tamiya colors, or even enamels for that matter. Just because you often need to use more, aggressive solvents and such to clean the brushes. And the only reason I don't recommend using your sables for that is because the aggressive alcohol and solvents and lacquer thinners and such, they'll just dry out the hairs, and again you'll hate life and get mad at yourself and all that. All right, take off a chunk. Let's pick this side. This has got a nice uneven side to it. I like how that looks. Yeah, that's fun. I like that. Nate's Miniatures. BRB time to make a cappuccino. My machine is hella slow boiling though. Kim, he looks good. I missed the last stream. Did you do all the chipping by brush? No, spongy. Spongy, man. Just spongy. That's it. And I used, I don't know if you caught it before, but I used Sea Blue XF17 and then used Gunmetal X10. And both Tamiya colors. And I just used the sponge, just very lightly. Some places where it got a little aggressive, I correct, and I showed basically how I correct if I do kind of like gets a little too hilarious with it. Say for example like a space like that, or yeah, even like here I showed, you know, like anywhere where I just laid a little too much silver or blue down, like the dark blue down. Yeah, and the whole reason for the dark blue is just because it seemed to work well. On top of the red, it takes on a gray quality, so it actually, you know, feels kind of appropriate. Let's grab the helmet. Let's do a little weathering on the helmet here. Little things of damn resin dust. Damn resin dust. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, let's do the helmet. So let's grab our sea blue, put that on the mixer. Jesus. I just looked in the Discord. You can see Aqua chugging a beer, it looks like. Alrighty, kid. Dun, 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 dun. So, I don't want to get too hilarious with the chipping on the helmet, so we're just going to be very, very, very selective as to where we put this. We're also going to work somewhat quickly. Let's go dunk, 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 dunk. Yeah, that's not bad. See, the really hard part is keeping it pretty darn subtle. That's the hard part. Because sometimes you just want to go in there and just smash it on, but I don't really recommend that. But some areas it works well if you just kind of hammer it on, you know what I mean? Like if you just, because then it looks like a big area that was, you know, chipped and dinged and, you know, all that. I often also try and think about like where it would naturally wear. So like where would wear occur? Wearing occur, I should say. Where would wearing occur? That's some good English. I can speak good English. Yeah, let's pretend one side of the helmet is really kind of dinged up. Just for giggles. Just like that. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Hell boop. Oh, I can't interrupt the episode. Oh, right. I forgot to turn on Discord. I'll jump into Discord. I'm in Discord now. Oh, I'm still on mute. Now I'm unmuted. There we go. I'm here, boop. The boop. Boop, 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 ba-doop. All right, let's give the gunmetal a mix. Oh, yeah. There he is.
That's right, you better open chat.
What's that?
That's right, you better open chat for me.
I completely forgot. Well, because like I just kind of started the stream. I didn't even bother, posting on socials or anything like that. I just
Yeah, I didn't see anything, so I
Yeah.
just happened to be like going through my follows on Twitch because I was bored. And I was like, oh.
Yeah, it is kind of hilarious. I just screw it. Well, because I didn't do one this afternoon because I was judging. I was judging a painting competition, and so I figured I still wanted to do a stream today, but I wasn't sure when. And then had a heavy dinner, and that kind of just kerklunked me. So I was like, well, I gotta try and do something here, for God's sakes.
Try and do something?
Yeah.
I got minis today in the mail.
You got minis? What kind of minis?
Yeah. Infinity.
Oh. Is Infinity big where you are? Like, is there a big gaming group?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I was going to say, like, how do you quantify big? But then I was like, well, if you mean a bigger group, the biggest of the small groups that don't play 40K, then yes.
yeah, that's pretty much. I mean, yeah.
Of the non-GW groups, it is the biggest now because of Mark III War Machine. A lot of people don't like it.
No.
It was War Machine before that.
I used to be part of that crowd too, War Machine.
Oh no, I did. Like Kador memed it up, and then I don't know, just kind of got tired, I guess.
Well, I was talking to somebody today who, we used to play way back in the day. Well, it was a few years ago. And, he was telling me about how, he still plays, even though it is kind of, it's not the same War Machine. It's, it's squad-based and, all these things. But, yeah, because, like, we were talking about, I used to run my my Mercs. I used to play Mercs.
I remember.
Oh, I just put a big dollop right on the forehead. Damn it. Oh well. Lemonade.
I remember those days.
Oh, me playing War Machine? Yeah.
Yeah.
War Machine was such a hard game for me to get into, but once I got into it, I've jumped like both feet right into it.
Yep. Same thing. I bought the box and I wasn't totally convinced, and then after a couple games I was like, oh. And I played about halfway through Mark III and I was like, you know what, I'm not enjoying this anymore.
Yeah, because we were talking about that, like how basically Privateer Press just kind of dropped the fucking ball on that whole thing, At least that's the way it seems as an outsider's kind of perspective.
It felt like they really leaned in. I mean, War Machine was always competitive because, I guess, it's not a beer and pretzels game, I guess.
Yeah.
You could say, because, as soon as your fucking leader dies, you lose, so.
Yeah, it's always had that kind of competitive atmosphere.
But it feels like they really leaned into it. And it was just like, it's not fun anymore.
Yeah.
This got to the point where I was playing games, because they allowed pre-measuring, which I don't mind.
See, I don't care.
Pre-measuring phase, I guess, doesn't take an hour.
Yeah, see, like, I didn't really care for that.
Where people would pre-measure, and then they like put down a base, and then they measure from that base, and they put down another base.
Oh,
they
yeah.
out everything, and they're just like, you know what?
Yeah, that's
and
annoying.
And then when Infernals came out, that book, you could start mixing factions, and I was like, well, what's the point of picking a faction?
Yeah,
I went back to 40K because it's just, I don't know, casual. Ish.
Yeah, in competitive 40K, people getting worked up about competitive 40K, I always kind of laugh because it's pointless. It's largely pointless.
Well, it's funny because if you want to do good in a tournament, don't take what the current meta. Just take some dumb meme list because nobody will be prepared for it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just go for something really dumb and really skewed, and yeah, because
It's
trying to play metas is just too stupid.
aside from like the super duper like tournaments where it's like there's people play. I guess I don't want to say for a living. I don't know if you can make a living playing competitive.
I honestly don't know.
But you get what I'm saying. Like if you're just going to like a tournament at your local game store, just take a meme list.
Yeah, right.
Let's say like really big tournaments. I don't know if that would work as much, just because everybody there has probably played every army because they switch armies like every tournament season or whatever.
Yeah, I have no idea. I used to be into tournament play 40K, but then after a while, you come to this realization that the game is being determined by a D6, and it's largely a 50-50 roll. Like there's so much randomness in the game that
I guess positioning matters, but it doesn't matter as much as like a game of chess or a war machine, because in 40K you can be perfectly positioned, have the perfect turn, I guess you could say, and I don't know, the orc player across the table from you just gets like super duper lucky rolls and obliterates your army with his Ludus or something.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas like second edition War Machine, when there was no pre-measuring and stuff like that, yeah, it was.
If you did everything right, you won.
Yeah, exactly. And the pre-measuring negates, I think, a little bit of player skill. The ability to determine distances abstractly versus actually pulling out a ruler, that's a skill. And you're removing a skill from the game, a player-based skill, and making it easier for other people to get into. And I mean, getting people into your game, sure, is fine, and it should always be encouraged. And even those who are of higher level skills shouldn't be, shitting on new players in any game, right? Because you should, like, everybody should always be encouraged to create a better community. And yeah, but I mean, like, you also shouldn't take away, you shouldn't hurt those that excel at the game and hurt those, because those are the people that are going to inspire the newer people to want to get better at the game, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like painting. Painting's the same kind of thing. You see all these Golden Demon winners, Crystal Brush winners, and you think, wow, they're really fantastic. I want to paint just like them. And so it inspires that person to want to take painting a little bit more seriously. Nothing wrong with that. Where I have issues is when you have these painters who have been around for a long time, who are, really great painters, but they, they shit on the people below them. I don't care for that. I think that's like they adopt this elitist type of attitude, and I don't care for that. I don't have time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
No, that's some bullshit. Kim, it is a funny that is competitive at all is a game that started out more like a space version of Monty Python. Yeah, just kind of guess the door and just go. Yeah, being able to see distance abstractly is a life skill everyone needs to learn and carries over to most jobs. yeah, I can agree with that. But yeah, the ability to determine abstractly distance, yeah, that's definitely a skill set that helps a lot of people.
I love what Coma said. I kind of want to play a game of Rogue Trader. Maybe not with the minis, because some of the minis are easy to find, some of them are not. But just playing with like the rule set of Rogue Trader, maybe with like modern minis or something, just because of how over the top it was.
Yeah, well, just pick yourself a rule book, and yeah, give it a shot. Treat it more like a RPG though.
Well, and that I know, because it was recommended you have like a game master.
Yeah, you should have a game master just to keep things kind of interesting. When you're making the lists, Again, don't try and meta the fucking game.
Rogue Trader, I think at that period there wasn't a lot of.
No shit, no. All this kind of competitive list building shit.
It was just,
Yeah, all that stuff came out in second edition. That's when that kind of bullshit started.
yeah, 'cause I was kind of saying, I think Rogue Trader was like your generic Space Marine. I mean, there were other factions, but as far as like Space Marines go, there's like Space Marine, Tank, and I think like Dreadnought. That was like kind of like it.
Yeah.
Now you could do like funny things with your Space Marine, like rolling that like what the 100 table or whatever.
Yep.
But yeah, I got it's actually it wasn't supposed to get here till Monday, but I don't know. I guess the mailman was feeling generous today and was like, yeah, we'll drop it off today.
Well, that's all right. Yeah.
Still waiting on GW to mail the start of my LA talk. But I know they're backed up. I think it's like it's almost like a week where they mail out stuff. Other than that, I'll probably build my Affinity and paint it a little bit. Got nothing else in got unpainted minis, but nothing that I'm like, I need to paint this right now.
Right. Nothing terribly pressing.
Yeah, nothing terribly pressing, and nothing necessarily like catching my eye, going, "Hey, paint me."
Hey, paint me. Paint me.
Yeah, I used to do that fire department training. We would do like search and rescue. I would be the person they need to rescue, and I'd be like, "Save me!"
Well, if you're given a job, you might as well do the best at it, right? You might as well do the absolute best you can at it.
Making in a dark, like, mobile home trailer that's blacked out pretty much in some random room, making funny voices. Totally.
Yeah. Save me! Help me! Big strong fireman.
Are you here to save me? Let me start flailing around. Which is a real thing. Oddly enough, there are cases when you see it a lot with like lifeguards at the beach. Like they go to try and save somebody drowning, and just like the person keeps flailing.
Heretic Scott, evening. Good God, man. It's got to be like middle of the night for you as well. It's all these Europeans showing up. That sounds racist, didn't it?
No.
It's all these fucking Europeans showing up.
At least in the U.S., the further east you live, the more I was watching Netflix. I was watching, what is his name? Ronnie Chang. And he was talking about moving to the U.S. because he's not from the U.S. And he was talking about, in the United States, like, the further east you go, the more people hate the British. And he was like reading off state mottos, or it was like, California, I don't remember California's, but Texas state motto, friendship. Tennessee, what is it? Agriculture and commerce. And you get to like, I think it's New Hampshire. It's like join or die.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, the North does have a long history of, resisting, right? So.
I don't know, it's like that all down like the eastern seaboard of the United States. I just thought it was funny because being somebody from the eastern, I never really thought of it. I was sitting there, I was like, oh yeah, the state mottos are vaguely threatening.
Yeah, yeah. Who knew that this weathering process was going to take me so fucking bloody long? I kind of figured, just, do some little bit of sponging here and there. Get this guy over and done with. No, here we are a week later.
You're talking about those sponges.
Yeah.
Like that come in blister packs?
Yep.
Infinity still does it.
What's that?
I said the Infinity blister packs still have those little sponges.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, that's why I recommend, like, look in your blister packs and for these sponges. I mean, this particular sponge. Anybody who's picked up any of the miniature cases that have like the pluck-in foam, yeah, that's all this is. Is just that foam from those cases.
Yeah. It's just one of those things because I used to save them, but now I have like a bunch of them, so I just kind of throw them away now.
I've got a big box just full of them.
But I haven't like bought, like, aside from Infinity, most model lines I buy from have now transitioned to like resin or plastic, so they don't really give you blister packs with the foam inserts anymore.
Right.
Everything comes in a box.
Right. Heretic
Box
Scott.
or a bag.
2 a.m. Oh, it's 2 a.m. for you. Jeez Louise, what are you still doing up, man? He's in Scotland. I don't know if do you ever talk to Heretic Scott or watch his streams?
Watch maybe. I don't know. It all runs together.
Boop, I would suggest drinking a little less.
you see,
just a little bit.
I am drinking a Arnold Palmer.
Yeah, there we go.
Not a normal Arnold Palmer, one with alcohol in it.
Yeah. All right. I'm not criticizing at all. I'm just saying.
I'm getting all the drinking done before Deathcon, so I actually show up to the game not hungover.
Nate Miniatures, do you still catch up with the mini wargaming crew these days? No, actually I haven't. No. If I'm doing anything going out, it's usually just Ash. I don't know. I just get along with Ash better. Kim, it did. Fuck, it was the thing that took the most time. All three painted and weathered right. I think I used as much time on weathering as all the other stuff combined. Yeah, I know. Like, we powered through the priming, the base coating, the shading, and a little bit of the highlighting. And here we are at the weathering, and I'm like, fucking hell. Like, when will it end? When will it end? What were we going to say, Hal? You sound like you were going to say something. You had something on the tip of your tongue.
If I was going to say something, it wasn't important. That's my dad would always say.
Yeah, if you forget what you say.
It wasn't important.
Yeah. No, I still say that. Yeah, it makes sense. Because if it was important, you wouldn't.
Something important.
Yeah, unless you forget something important. Yeah.
No, it just means it wasn't important to you.
True. Weathering is so much fun though, but damn, it takes a while.
Yeah, I like painting camo, and it takes a while.
Yeah, camo. Yeah.
Especially when you're like, I won't put camo on all these suits. And they're all.
And then you realize what you just said, and it's like, oh no, now I got to put camo on all these suits. Oh no. It's really hard not to go ham on this and just really lay this shit in.
Speaking of beer, since you brought it up earlier.
Whoa.
Oktoberfest is coming up, and I'm excited. My grandmama, she's going to make the sausage.
So are you saying your grandmother's all about the sausage? Is that what you're saying?
She is, as the lads say, a kraut. So yes.
I don't think people have really used that one since the Second World War.
That was the joke.
Oh. Back in her day, she was known. Oi. Who dat? Haas again. Give it up, Haas. or did we attract Haas because we were using racial terms? He wanted to get in on this. And said, I know some racial terms too. People who annoy you. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that Haas is a bot. Fucking bots. And see, people were like, oh no, Skynet wouldn't happen. You're fucking right, it will. It's gonna be bots. Skynet's bots. It's bots. They're coming. The bots are coming.
Come on. Soon you won't be able to chat in Twitch chats.
Yeah, pretty much.
They're taking over.
Alright. Where am I? Kim, camo is fun, and if you like geometric shapes that overlap, it's pretty easy to do and nice standard. Yeah, well, definitely, yeah. I mean, even I've shown it before in the past, like doing like a quick and easy camo pattern, or you know, even just like the Vietnam jungle patterns, and oh yeah, it's a lot of fun.
When I do camo patterns, I typically base it off of like an actual camo pattern. That way, it's easier for me. Because I mean, you can do random splotches, and that technically is what camo is. But
technically,
you know, sometimes it doesn't look right.
Right. I am a little bit curious as to why Haas keeps trying. Why does Haas keep trying? Haas has got some hatred that he's got to get off his chest, I think. There's some hatred there that he's got to get out.
Oh, is it alerting you?
Yeah, it alerts me.
I was sitting there. I was like, I don't see him saying anything.
Yeah, no. He because he's clicking the follow because I'm pretty sure I have my chat set to only people who follow, and I think after a certain amount of time can you chat. Because I've had this kind of shit before, and so that's why I set it up like that. I mean, you know, I like engaging with people, and pissing off racists is a lot of fun as well.
But that's probably not an actual person. That's probably a bot.
Yeah, I assume it's a bot. I would assume. Heretic Scott can confirm any username with Haas is a bot. They're being used to attempt to acquire IP addresses. Oh, really? Like whose? Yours or mine? I would imagine it's not terribly difficult to get mine. Alright. We are going to paint the neck thingy black. We'll paint these little hoses black. And yeah. I don't think we'll worry about making these black in here just because, I mean, once the shoulders are plugged in, I don't think it's a big issue.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, we'll do those in black. Oh, man. Heretic Scott, also, I'm awake because I'm a rebel and working on my sorcerer on a bike. Cool. Have you been posting any work in progress pictures of that one, Heretic? Have you? Have you?
I'll have some whips to post. eventually.
Eventually.
Oh yeah, no, it's just I'm waiting on one GW to ship the stuff that I want, and motivation to work on stuff. Because all I've been really doing the last like couple weeks is just building stuff. I don't know if anybody else does this. Like, I'll buy kits in like spurts. So like I'll buy a whole bunch of kits, and I might not buy kits for like a couple months, and they just kind of sit there, and I just kind of like build through them.
Well, that sounds like a pretty reasonable battle plan, actually. Just buy a bunch of kits and build them, and then buy some more and build them.
And the only time I deviate from that is if like there is a special release for a faction I play.
Right. I try and get you on that special release.
Buying Eldar recently, and then if Eldar gets a release next month, well, they're not, but they're not on the roadmap. But let's say figuratively, if GW never released that roadmap and they released Eldar next month, I would have to break the little, I don't know, shoot, what would it be called?
Cycle?
Routine I have, and buy a whole bunch of kits again. That's just how I work. Like when the vampire count, or not vampire counts, what are they called now? Whatever, vampires for AOS, when they got their new release like a couple months ago, I bought a whole bunch of stuff at release, and then I won't buy anything else for them until I at least, built and base coated whatever I bought during release.
Right.
Will that stop me from buying other things? No.
Will it prevent me from making more sensible choices? No.
But I won't buy any more vampire stuff until those are done.
Yeah.
Or partway done.
What time are we at here? Holy camolies.
You're at an hour 30. You're at 9:41 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Thanks, Boo.
Which I don't think Eastern Standard. I think they technically changed what Eastern Standard Time is supposed to be called now.
Why? What's it supposed to be called?
If you look at like world clock, it is. I just know if you look at a world clock, it doesn't do EST, it does your country, like, minus or plus. I think it's some time zone in the UK or, like, France.
Oh, you mean GMT?
Yeah, it's like minus or plus GMT.
GMT's actually been around, like, since the beginning of time zones. Like, when
I'm aware. It's just, like, so you said EST. It's like, a lot of places are starting to not use EST now.
Right.
Like GMT plus or minus. Keep looking at Moonstone. I think I want to buy something. That goblin called Doug the Flatulent riding a pug.
Doug the Flatulent?
Yeah. I guess he's just a flatulent guy. I don't know.
I guess.
One of the goblins in the where is he? What's his name? There it is. Vicious Midget is the goblin's name.
Vicious Midget?
Yes.
That's a hell of a name.
There's Beaky Bobby.
Beaky Bobby. He's all about the beaking?
He's got one of those like plague doctor like beak masks.
Oh, okay.
then there's Grub, which is like a goblin that, I don't know, I guess cast, or had like a magic spell cast on him that turned him into like a part bug. And he's got one of those like little cartoon like insecticide sprayers where it's like the tube with like the little can on the bottom.
Oh, yeah, that's old school. The little like a bike pump.
Yeah, it's like a bike pump with like a little can on the bottom.
Yeah, that's an old school. They used to use those. That was a thing.
Oh no, I'm aware. You just only ever see them in cartoons. Well, no, you don't even see them in cartoons anymore.
No,
they're now too old for that.
Well, shit. Who watches cartoons anymore?
That's true. I don't know. Well, they just run. I don't even know if they do Saturday. No, they don't. They just. I think there's just a channel on TV that runs cartoons like 24/7.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I don't think they do like Saturday morning cartoons anymore.
No, I don't think so. Yeah.
I think that was ending just as like I stopped being a kid who watched cartoons on Saturdays.
I grew up on that shit. Grew up on watching all that old racist Looney Tunes shit. And loved it.
I had to sit there and think, and I was like, oh yeah. Because those Looney Tunes that stopped being around. Those episodes of Looney Tunes stopped being around when I was little.
Yeah. Yep. All the old classic racism. But even some of it was even gone before I was watching it. Because I've seen some like clips of old Bugs Bunny stuff. And like episodes I had seen 100 times. But there was parts in them that were very insensitive. And I've seen like those parts that were removed. And holy shit, yeah, like that was some straight up racist shit.
I think the closest me watching Looney Tunes it ever got was there was an episode where Bugs Bunny was like a Union general or something, and what's his name, Yosemite Sam?
Yeah.
He was a Confederate. I think that's like the closest it ever got.
Yeah, there's a scene inside that you can actually watch it on YouTube. They have the clip, and it's basically Bugs Bunny doing blackface.
Well, okay, that definitely wasn't in there. So I remember that episode.
Yeah.
That definitely wasn't in there when I watched it.
Yeah, it's Bugs Bunny doing blackface, and you're like, oh my lord, yeah, thank God they took this out. Holy shit.
I just remember the episode because they had those, what is it, like ironclad ships or whatever they had like during Civil War, like all metal.
Yeah.
And, you know, Bugs Bunny was there and, you know, stuffing like Yosemite Sam in one of the cannons or something.
Oh, man.
The classic Looney Tunes thing where you stuff the character in the gun or you stuff your finger in the gun. Causing the gun to, like, explode and mushroom or whatever it is. Did you finish already?
Well, I laid the shipping down, and then I just laid some black on the hoses and such. And then I just did it on the neck. I'm debating whether I feel like attaching this to the main body, or
the crest.
Yeah, I gotta do the crest. You know what? Maybe I should put the base coat on the crest. So okay, here's an idea, and this goes for everybody out there. The crest. I sculpted the eagle skull on the chest. Should the eagle skull look like a skull, or should it look the same color as the wings? Now the wings, I'm thinking of doing it all white. So it's going to be predominantly white. So should the skull be a bone and the wings white, or should it all be white like it's all the same material? I
would say make it bone color.
Make it bone and white?
Me personally, yeah. Only because it's big. Because I don't know, in my mind, if you paint that all white, it's going to be like a giant white, I don't know, almost rectangular, because that fills up almost his whole chest, doesn't it?
The skull? No, it's just right in the center. It's where
the wings and the whole crest thing.
Oh, yeah. The wings itself, yeah, it takes up the whole chest.
Yeah. In my mind, it'd be like a lot of white.
Well, it's not gonna be white. Like it's gonna be a light gray with white highlights. Gonna do it in kind of like what we did for the Sister of Battle, where it's predominantly gray but with some white. But that gives it the impression of being white, you know.
Either way could work, I guess. What are you doing with the other feathers, and is it just, are you doing feathers, or are you having like bones on other parts too?
I was initially thinking of doing like a bear claw necklace, but I don't know if I want to do that anymore. I might do it later on. It's something that I probably could add afterwards. And another thing is that I was actually thinking that I did kind of want to do something on the knee pad. I still can, but yeah. I was also thinking of a design running down the shins. There's a linear design that is used in a lot of Ojibwe artwork, and I was thinking about using that in there.
It's one color then, because if you do the necklace, yeah, because if you end up doing the necklace, you might want to end up painting, just paint it all white then, or gray, or whatever color.
Oh, you're helpful, Boo.
One color.
Do it one color, do it in things, just fucking paint it, yo. Just fucking paint it.
He like, shoot, what's his name? Just do it.
Yeah. Kim, one color over the whole thing, any of the colors. One color over the whole thing, any of the colors. So just do it all one color?
Yes.
I think is that what Kim's saying? I think that's what Kim's saying.
Just one color.
Just do it all one color?
Yeah, because I'm thinking, because if you do like the bear necklace, the bear claws are going to be bear claw colored.
Yeah, they'll be black. Yeah. Or like dark brown. Dark.
Yeah, I would just do it all one.
Yeah, that's what I think. So I am going to grab my gray. Which gray?
So I think I messaged you this idea I had for a Space Marine chapter.
You might have.
I did. Yeah. Space Marines based on Gaul. Yeah, I did.
You did, you say? Alright, yeah, so we're going to use light gray XF66. Order 66. Do it. Let's throw this on. Should I airbrush this?
Airbrush what?
The base coat. No, I guess I can just do it by hand. Well, I was just thinking about just quickly masking it off and applying the color. But we'll do it by brush.
This is my brush. I mean, technically, I guess an airbrush is a brush because it has brush in the name.
Exactly. It's all just tools, man. Again, like these stupid biases. I hear some people, no, the airbrushing, it's cheating, blah, blah, blah. It's like, it's not cheating, you fucking schmuck. Quit being a schmuck.
You know what is? No, I'm just kidding. You know what is cheating?
No.
Dipping your models.
Dipping.
I'm joking. If you want to dip your models, dip your models. In fact, that's what you should do next tutorial is how to dip.
Just dip the model, yeah.
Yeah.
I probably should. Oh my god.
Yeah,
is old Chris strong enough to open this jar? He is not. Okay, you guys want a pro tip?
Oh, pro tip.
Yeah, here's a pro tip for opening up jars. So this Tamiya jar does not want to open for me, and rather than expend a great deal of strength trying to open it,
you're gonna get out with vice grip.
No, my pipe wrench.
Close enough.
Oh, Jesus. Good God, it's still not going.
This little slip of red
I'm stripping this damn cover here. Oh my god. Normally this just works like a charm.
Those are actually called channel locks.
Yeah, for me it's just a pipe wrench because I just use it on that kind of shit, and also opening jars. There it is.
You know, since we're talking about opening jars, my mother got this really cool, like, almost like an elastic rubber, like, it's almost like a giant paper clip, but it's for jars. And you grab it and you squeeze it, and it does pretty much the same thing you're trying to do with the channel locks.
Yeah, I think I've seen that.
Yeah, but like the inside's like rubber textured, so it like kind of like grips the lid, and you just crank on it, like comes right up. Oh, that's the neatest thing ever.
So I'm just getting rid of the paint chunks on the side of the jar. For some strange reason, paint really built up on this. Now I'm getting chunks in my paint. Awesome. All right. No.
How to use it. Yeah. Wash properly. Proceed to dunk the entire model in palm oil. Slap it onto a cordless drill and spin off the axe.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah. Eric Scott make it an April Fool's thing. Yeah, do it for April Fools.
I've seen people make paint shakers out of freaking those hand saws. I forget what they're called. The electric one. I should know because I use one at the shop all the time. I just don't remember what it's called. Okay, just reciprocating, it's all. Yeah, no, but I think this has inspired me to do some Space Marines themed on Gaul.
Yeah, why not?
So then I'm gonna do green, so like a dark green. And it's gonna be light green. With a little bit of gray, and sculpt little like boar heads on their helmet.
Yeah, it sounds cool. Do it.
Do it. After the Eldar first, let's get that done.
Now, are you an adamant get one project done at a time kind of guy?
No, I just know that if I do not get this LA talk done, I'm going to end up doing what I did last Adepticon, which is painting like 100 guardsmen. But last Adepticon, I ended up painting, while drunk, in my hotel room, 100 guardsmen.
Right.
So I don't want to do that again. So I just want to. I mean, I'll work on like other little things. So I'm not going to do like another, I guess, big project, even though like 2 Space Marine squads is not a big project.
Boy, Haas is determined to get in here.
Anything more than like a single like model, I won't work on until I'm done the late talk. Just because if I get that done, it goes in its case. I can play it at the stores, but it's it's ready for Adepticon. Adepticon gets canceled, well then it's ready for Adepticon 2023.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm hoping that that it's not too much trouble for me to get over there because
I was talking to Eldari about that. She's like, nobody freaking knows anymore.
Yeah, like it's not really a problem of getting to Chicago. It's when it's all said and done, getting back into the country. Because Canada.
Well, I imagine since you're Canadian, they might let you back in.
No, they won't. They will refuse admittance if
no Canadian left behind. No.
Well, if you're unvaccinated, like I'm vaccinated, but if before I show up, I have to have a test done to prove that I'm not fucking spreading the shit around, right?
I didn't think about that.
Yeah. At least that was the last time I checked on these stupid ass rules.
I forget that other countries have different rules. Because, like, the U.S., as far as COVID is concerned, if you, like, traveled abroad, if they could get you home, they were going to get you home.
Yeah, in the States, I mean, like, you know,
So,
it's wide open. And, yeah, like, in Canada, a lot of traffic from the States is making it in, no problem. Like, commercial traffic, but, like, as far as individuals and
yeah,
shit like that.
I was talking to Eldari about that. It's like, I didn't think. Cause it's like not only getting over here, but getting back home. Because, like you said, they might not let you go back home.
Yeah.
Because from the U.S. perspective, you know, not just in the U.S., but like, you know, when COVID happened, and all the Americans abroad, you know, there was a big rush to get them all home. So
Yeah, yeah.
and I didn't think about not being able to go home. Did not think about that.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that, you know, I can come across. I mean, I can come across. It's just getting back home. That's the problem.
Now that I think about that, there's a couple of cities on the border where like half the cities in Canada, half the cities in the U.S. Imagine living there.
Yeah, it'd be annoying.
Cause I remember like watching like some travel. Oh look, Hoss is back twice.
Yeah. I mean, I've been getting alerts.
Because I was watching a documentary. There's a town, I think it's in like Maine, that's like half in the U.S. and half in Canada, and the library is in the direct middle. So Canadians can go into the library from one side, and Americans can go into the library from the other. But they have to have like I guess border patrol there because you know if you're American you can't go into the library on the American side and come out on the Canadian side.
What?
Yeah, no, it's a thing.
That sounds like some goofy ass shit.
It's a thing because the town was there, like pre-colonial, or well, not pre-colonial, during the colonial era. You know, America becoming its own country.
Yeah.
So they just kind of put a town there, and I guess when America became its own country, they drew the border. That town just got literally like cut in half.
That's messed. All right. Chest is done, all in light gray. It's one coat. I like it all one color. I'm happy with that. That's the direction we're going.
Are we doing 2 coats?
Yeah, I'm going to do 2 coats on it, though. Yeah, well, you can't really see it on camera, but yeah, you can see some of the undercolor poking through. So, yeah, it needs 2 coats, which is why I was thinking about airbrushing it, because airbrushing would have
sped it up.
Sped it up, yeah. Exactly. Because, I mean, I could have just as easily had masked this off with silly putty. And I also wouldn't have nicked the armor up here on the collar.
Yeah.
But that's okay, I got my red now, so I'm good.
We don't do things because they're easy. We do them because they're
hard. Wow, that Haas has added 00312 3 times to their name. Yeah, they're really trying to get in.
The bot.
But it's adamant in getting in here. Like, I don't understand why it's so adamant.
I feel like the bots target, like, they'll just, like, kind of go through the list of channels streaming, and then you just kind of pick one, and they just constantly try it.
Yeah, I guess. It's kind of crazy. Heretic Scott, fresh tips. How to use washes properly. Then proceed to dunk the entire model in non oil and then slap it onto a cordless drill and spin off the excess. Yeah, exactly. The McAllen, warm water to loosen the cap works. Yeah, warm water. Oh, Grim banned Haas. That's not the only Haas, Grim. Grim, there's like fucking 10 of them, man. There's 10 Hosses trying to get in here. I don't know why Hosses are after me, but they're after me. They're coming for me.
You go to like the Haas fan club and like say something mean to people named Haas or something?
Maybe was I being racist towards a Haas? Maybe is that what's going on?
No, I've had a Haas randomly follow me on Twitch too, though I don't actually have anything on my channel.
Oh yeah. Oh okay. So yeah, this bot
And
is
like
just.
2 or 3 of all of my friends during their stream too.
Oh really? Jeez.
So they're just Haas's left and right.
Yeah, this is a busy little bot. Busy little bot.
Gonna ban the bull.
Yeah, may as well. How's Grim doing?
Going alright.
That's good.
Finally got hired onto a position I was hoping for, which would be nice.
Oh, nice.
And that, just relax.
So I assume this is a job that you really wanted?
Yep, I will be working on a library position rather than a school. Don't mind schools, but libraries are more of my field.
It's more your jam?
That's why I have my master's degree, and so I might as well aim for that.
Yeah. Might as well put that education to use, eh?
Indeed. Okay, I think I banned all the Hosses. Yep.
I'm gonna feel bad for the person who's generally named Haas going to chat because thinks he's a bot.
Yeah.
Well, all the Hosses I banned are 00312, and then just here, eyes, click here, whatever. I was like, wait a second. Something's off here. So how have y'all been?
Not bad. I just realized that I picked the wrong brush to do this little task I'm trying to do. So we're not going to do it.
I have noticed a lot of the projects I've been working on lately involve a lot of freehand. Because I have the Stormcast I'm painting in Kokomo, or however you pronounce it, which is like Russian pottery art. And then he's a Gallic, that's how you pronounce, like, I guess the plural of Gaul. Space Marines are going to be green with like teal, like freehand, like knot work on them. Because for a while it was sculpting. Sculpting was what a lot of my projects had in them. And before that, a lot of my projects were kit bashing.
How goes the G.I. Joe project?
It's chugging along.
Yeah.
A lot of guard players have recently popped up at my local GW, so it's been hard getting. Because I try and buy from him, because he's a really nice dude.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just his
Yeah, no.
GW treat him well. No, but he's like a genuinely nice guy. So like I want his store to stay there. Because I know GW, like, if your numbers aren't performing, they will just let your lease expire, and they won't renew your lease.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They'll move the store when the store's lease is up if the numbers aren't good. So I try and buy from him if it's something I can get from him. So
Right.
like all the Scion stuff is stuff they regularly stock on the shelves. It's just for some reason there's been a lot of guard players recently. I don't know if the Kriegers being in Kill Team had anything to do with it, or if it's just like one of those phases where like it was like guard.
Yeah. Could be one phase.
It's just been really hard to get Scion kits because I have like half the project done, and it's been sitting there because I just haven't been able to get the Scion kit.
Right.
So I could get a regular guard kit, but then it's no longer Scion Joe. But, I do have to take a picture at some point. I kind of wanted to take a picture when it was all done. I think piecemealing it ruins the. It's not really a surprise, but like what characters I chose and etc.
Right.
I think I did tell you my Snake Eyes idea was a was it Eversor assassin with the sniper one's head.
Right.
It kind of looks like Snake Eyes like visor.
Yeah.
But aside from him and 2 squads of Scions, trying to figure out the truck. I've been not the truck. What's it called? The Torox. Their tank truck thing for Scions. I've been trying to figure out the color scheme for that because there's just so many G.I. Joe vehicles.
Yeah, it's kind of a tough one.
Because I could just do the cop out and just like paint it like olive drab and put like a G.I. Joe star with the stripes running down the side.
Right. Yeah, I mean, if you can do that, then it is kind of feel like a little bit of a cop out in that instance.
I've just been trying to scroll through like G.I. Joe vehicles, like actual branded G.I. Joe vehicles, trying to find like something that kind of looks like it because they've released so many vehicles for G.I. Joe. There's got to be something that looks like a pickup pickup truck with tank treads.
Yeah, like because like a pickup truck that's a combat vehicle. The first thing I think of is Zartan's car.
Yeah. I mean, there is the that snowmobile thing they have.
Yeah.
Has the 2 tank, like the 4, like where 4 road tires would be. There's tank treads there.
Yeah.
Like they're all like 4. So I could do that, but I feel like that would be because it's snow camouflage.
Yeah.
Where most GI Joes, like their toys are either I guess green camo or.
Yeah, because that one is a winter vehicle, so it's all white, so it's kind of non-distinct. And then a lot of the Cobra stuff is like a deep navy blue.
Yeah. I do want to do a Cobra project to go like at some point after this. Maybe
Cobra would be a lot of fun.
Play with it. And for Cobra, I think I mentioned this one. I'm gonna do Gene Stealer cults.
Yeah.
And paint it like in the movie when Cobra Commander gets turned into like a lizard man.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, so like freehand-in little scales and stuff.
Well, I think for that
I think
for that you probably could use like a Chaos Mutant or something. Somebody with some boils on them and stuff. And then that would be like your Cobra Commander.
And I could put a little. I've never been a fan of the mirror face Cobra Commander.
Kim, I did the Thorax truck thing in a blue candy over metallics or clear blue or any transparent glossy. Will work the same. Yeah, doing the Thorax in a metallic blue, I mean, like for a Cobra vehicle, because the Thorax kind of does look a bit like, what the hell's the Cobra tank called?
I know what you're talking about. I think it's called the Hiss.
Yes, the Hiss, yeah, that's it. Yeah, because the Rattler is the plane, the A10.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I used to have that toy with Wild Weasel as the pilot. Only Cobra guy I know besides Cobra Commander Destro.
Yeah, like
a lot of people forget. I mean, there were generic like GI or Cobra henchmen, but there were in the GI Joe toy line, they were named Cobra bad guys.
Yeah.
Like you had things like Firefly or something.
Yeah, I don't remember the names. My favorites are the Viper, the Viper Guard.
There's those the robot ones.
No,
Those
those
are
were
bats.
bats. Yeah, I like the color scheme for bats, but no, I like the just the look of the Viper guards. It's just that solid red with that black mask.
Yeah,
It just looks cool.
that's something I could do.
What?
Bats. You just have like the HQ choice. Have like a Cobra Commander like face the face veil or the shiny chrome mask or something.
Right.
'Cause I feel like if you're really into GI Joe,
If you're
somebody
really
would
into GI
pick
Joe,
up on the black yellow metallic scheme that the bats had going on.
yeah, that'd be cool.
Don't know what faction I would use, but
I don't know.
it's like I could say Scions, but I already used Scions for Scion Joe. So.
Yeah, I'm much happier doing this in a gray, all one color. I like how this looks. There's some red in there. Fuck. Gotta get the eye sockets. There we go.
The GI Joe has a. Oh no, it's a Humvee. That's not a pickup truck. I was gonna say they have something that might work. It's like, oh, that's a Humvee. That might actually be a Jeep. I don't know.
Well, technically Humvees are Jeeps, aren't they?
Nah, because Humvees are made by Hummer. I think they were.
No, yeah, no, Humvees are made by Jeep. Yeah, the company Jeep.
Oh, they were?
Yeah, Humvees, yeah, they're made by Jeep.
I didn't know that.
I'm pretty sure.
I thought they were made by. What was Hummer?
I mean, the original Humvees were made by Jeep.
original-
Yeah,
Probably.
but I mean, as far as like the Hummer brand name, I don't know. But as far as I understood things, yeah, Humvee was made by Jeep. But I could be wrong about that. Greenleaf Terrain. Oh my God, you're still awake? Yeah. And I'm past brownie time. What time are we at? Oh, we're already at 2 hours. Damn, I already streamed for 2 hours. Damn.
Wow.
Wow. Wow. So, we got the torso.
I think I found the vehicle. Oh, no, that's Destra's Razorback. Never mind.
Brokeback. Destro's Brokeback. That's a different movie. Yeah. So we got the chest eagle base coat. We got some weathering done on the torso or on the chest. We cleaned up those feathers. Yeah, I'm still into this project. I'm still feeling it. I'm excited. We've got feathers. I just gotta trim them up, sand them down, and clean them up. Some of them are just way too thick. I don't know if I'll use these big ones though. I don't think so. There's nothing really I can think of that these big feathers could go on. These little feathers are definitely getting used on the helmet. Yeah, these are getting used on the helmet because these will either go this way on the helmet or they'll go like that way. I thought there was two of them. It's so thick. I thought there was two of them sitting there. Fucking hell. Yeah, or they might go off like that, off to the side on the helmet. Yeah. And of course I gotta correct that big boo-boo I made on my Marine's helmet. That's okay, the feathers might obscure that. Hide the crime, as it were.
Looking at all these old G.I. Joe vehicles, it's like, why would you ever buy the Joe vehicles when all the Cobra ones are cooler?
Yeah, well, Cobra had all the cool vehicles. I mean, even like...
Because I'm looking, I'm like, oh wow, Humvee, generic like M60 patent tank looking thing, and there's like the Cobra vehicles, like this tank, where the front of the tank popped up like a snake head.
Yeah. It's I don't know. Yeah, the Cobra stuff looked a lot cooler because all the G.I. Joe stuff was just conventional American-looking technology, whereas the Cobra stuff is kind of...
It was supposed to be like super bad guy or
whatever, yeah. Because, I mean, like the Hiss, that has no real-world equivalent. But, like, the G.I. Joe tank is an Abram.
Yeah.
The, what was it, Strike Eagle fighter plane for the G.I. Joe? That's just a Tomcat.
Yeah, Tomcat. Mm-hmm. I think the only thing Cobra used that looked like a real vehicle was the Rattler, because it was just an A-10.
Yeah, it's an A-10. Well, and I used to have the Raven, which was the Blackbird. I used to have that. The one I thought was always really crazy for any kids who actually had it was the aircraft carrier.
Yeah.
I was like, man, that'd be awesome.
I might have to do the compound thing and just paint it olive drab.
You might.
I have to figure out a way to 40k-ify the G.I. Joe symbol. Maybe instead of a star, it's the, what is it, the Tequila or whatever.
No, I would go with a star. I would go full G.I. Joe.
You just go full G.I. Joe?
Yeah, full G.I. Joe. Do olive green, and then give it a semi-gloss shine, so it looks like plastic. So it looks like army men.
Yeah.
Alrighty, man. I'm gonna pull the pin. Kim, you can sand the thickness on them. Also, you can do the... Yeah, oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna sand them. I'm gonna do that off camera though, because it's just gonna make a big mess, and I gotta have my vacuum down here for that, because the dust is gonna go everywhere, and I'll breathe it in, and then I've got some sort of resin dust in my lungs. Any parting thoughts there, Boop?
Parting thoughts. Don't be a hoss.
Don't be a hoss. That's good advice. Don't be a hoss. Just don't be a hoss. Fucking hosses, eh? Yeah. Holy fuck, Kim. Yeah, wrap it up. It's almost 5 in the morning here. Holy fuck, dude. What are you doing?
I don't know. That's on you, bud.
Yeah, that's entirely on you. I mean, I'm cutting into my own brownie time right now, so I gotta get my weed on. Yeah, I gotta get some weed.
Special brownie.
And I see fucking Aqua posted a pic of himself in the Discord.
Yes,
Fucking chugging a beer. Kid's what, 15, 16? Somebody's gonna get in trouble. Fucking kid.
I was gonna make an FBI joke, but I was like, doesn't live in the U.S.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, he's in Ireland. Shit, for all we know, that's encouraged in Ireland.
Well, Chris, that's racist.
Yeah, Chris, that's racist. Is it racist? I don't know. Might be.
When you say it to an Irish person, they tend to laugh, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who else. I don't know if any other monkeys are from Ireland. I the only one I can think of is Aqua.
I don't think we've ever like had like a little like poll like what country are you guys from?
Yeah, taking census of the monkeys, the Monkey Census Bureau.
The monkey census. Monkey census bureau.
Alrighty, Boop. Sing us out. Give us a song.
I did last time.
Well, I didn't get the clip.
Somebody else's turn.
Somebody else. You're the only one. Well, fucking Grim left with the quickness, so probably because he knew I was gonna do this. He bailed because he knew this was gonna happen. I was gonna put him in the spotlight. He's like, I don't want to fucking do that. Yeah, you notice how fast Grim dipped on us too?
I gotta find the lyrics.
Yeah, just karaoke something. Give us something, buddy. Give us a Taylor Swift song.
I was just gonna do the G.I. Joe one.
Oh, no. You did G.I. Joe last time.
I know.
Do the Flintstones. Do you know the Flintstones?
I mean, I know the show.
Okay.
Stones.
Just give us your favorite song. You must have a favorite song. Like one of your favorite drinking songs.
Yabba dabba do, Flintstones, meet the Flintstones. They're the modern Stone Age family from the town of Bedrock. They're a page right out of his story. Let's ride with the family down the street through the courtesy of Fred's 2 feet. When you're with the Flintstones, have a yabba dabba do time. There you go.
That's perfect. Perfect. Thank you. Oh, Kim says do SpongeBob next time. Okay, learn SpongeBob next time.
That was actually easy. Are you ready, kids? Aye, aye, Captain. I can't hear you. Aye, aye, Captain. Oh, lives in a pineapple under the sea. SpongeBob SquarePants. Who's absorbent yellow? As it pours out his head. SpongeBob SquarePants. This is SpongeBob SquarePants like 6 times over after that. SpongeBob SquarePants.
Are you drunk?